Hey guys, welcome to the Bonefish Bonefishing Show. If you're new, my name is James Dr. Smith. Like and subscribe. Let's do this. Welcome to the beautiful flats of Long Island. Today, I'm going to show you 5 tips that you should know when fishing with me. Step number 1, direction. This is one of the most important part of the flats fishing. Knowing where to cast, which direction I am calling. I always tell most anglers, if you're right-handed, we have a stage to go by. If you're right-handed, I'm going to keep you from 9 to 11 at all times. Now, most people always ask me, what do you mean by 9 to 11? I'm going to go to simple, basic technique of just a simple watch. 12 o'clock is always where you're facing. The bow is always 12. And if you're right-handed, I'm going to keep you from 11 to 9. That means that all day your fish is going to be coming from this side of the boat, the left side of the boat. And even if there's a fish coming from the right side of the boat will be spun around and you'll still be on a 9 to 11 for casting at all times. Vice versa for the left-handed. If you're left-handed, your fish should be coming from the 1 to 3 at all times. So if the boat again needs to be adjusted because the fish is coming from the right, from the left, it will still be 1 to 3. I fished with a client and at the end of the day, I heard she said to her husband, honey, that is so good. He kept the fish coming at you on 11 o'clock all day. Of the boat, the guide and the clients should be as one. I'll tell you what I mean by that. If I'm fishing, if I'm an angler standing in the front of the boat and a guide shout, see over there, there's a fish over there. I have to look back to him to see where he's pointing and then try to find out where the fish is at. The basic technique is, if the bow is 12 and you're right-handed, and I'm going to keep you from 9 to 11 for casting at all times, and a guide shout out for me, 10 o'clock, I know exactly where he's talking about. So I don't have to look at him to see where he's pointing. And at the same time, I can start my cast off in that direction. And when I'm casting that direction, even though if I'm slightly off to the left or to the right, he can still adjust me, a little left or a little right. This goes exactly for the left-hand cast also. Again, the bow is always 12. For right-handed, 9 to 11. And another thing that you should establish with your guide before doing anything, try to find out which part of the boat he's talking about 9 o'clock. Because if you're standing here, your 9 o'clock will be here. But since this is the direction of the boat, because it's a big clock, my 9 o'clock will be where the boat is cut off in half, where the deck ends. This gives an angler and myself the best direction of knowing where 9 o'clock is at. Because if I call at 9 o'clock and he knows exactly that is straight off the end there, it will give him a better chance of spotting the fish and an easier cast. Then I don't have to direct him left or right. And also by me directing him left or right on a faster mode, okay, come a little more left, come a little right, because the fish is coming at us, will cause him to change his mode of casting. And when he changes mode of casting, which changed everything, makes him go faster and cause everything to go wrong. And we don't want to do that. So by having an idea where 9, 10, 11 is located on the clock, and I'm not talking about digital time, I'm talking analog, which is the best time to go by. And I know nowadays, you young, I should say lads, don't know what an analog clock means. So this is the way we'll start off. 2, we're going to go to number 2. The most important piece is line management. Line management for me is key. And many times an angler steps in front of the boat and his first response is to just go switch around this way. And he begins to pull off line. Okay? And then he steps to the front of the boat and I'm ready. This is not the way that you should do it. Because at the end of the day, you're gonna get a bad result out of all of this the way you did it. Because what happens is that the top of the line is on the bottom of the pile. And the bottom of the pile is on the top. So when you begin to cast, this line begins to jump up. This first. This is the one that comes off first, and this is under the pile. So when you begin to pull this line and cast, this comes up and disturb the whole pile. When it disturbs the pile, it becomes a knot. And that's why when you cast sometimes and you hook on a fish, you see all of a sudden you have a knot that you're trying to clear out before the fish break off or before you pull your guide off. But what I'm going to do here is show you the way that it should be. I'm going to take the line off here. This is what most anglers do. Now if you watch this, you see how I'm taking the line off and I'm piling it on top. Now the main line I'm looking for, you see it? What I need is going to be casting first is under the pile. So if I begin to pull this, see that? It becomes a knot pretty quickly. That's what you don't want when you get a nice fish on. So you don't want this. The best way to do this, I'm going to show you the best way to do this. You can pull this out first. And even if a guide is pulling along, you can, almost like you're deep sea fishing, you can let the line slack out slowly until it gets all the way out. And this is one way I will do it, how I do it. I take it and I just make a cast, get it all the way out where I want to. Now, and then I bring it back here. See, I can still take off more line if I want. If that's not the distance I need, I still can do that. Now, when I begin to come back here, this line is going to be where it's supposed to be. Now, but before I bring this all the way back in, normally I will place my rod here and I will stretch the line a little bit and place this line on the deck. It's nice and warm today. You can feel it. Just keep pulling this until this is all stretched out. And while I'm stretching the line out, you see how it's laying properly on the deck. Okay, good. This is the way the line should be when it's all stripped back in and ready to cast. Okay? And by having this line set up this way, when you begin to cast, this should be able to go out without a hook. That was the problem. See that? Everything is gone. That's the way you set your line up. Number 3. It's going to be a short cast, but very quickly. Most of the times when you're out here on the flats, you're pulling along and all of a sudden the guide shouts out 10 o'clock or 2 o'clock, 30 feet out. Now most of the times 30 feet out, you got to do maybe 3-4 falls casts to get it going. And by that time, the fish already spot you. I came up with a very easy and simple method. Most anglers hold their rod this way. Okay? So you have the fly line here under your right finger, where you're holding the line, and the fly is in your left hand. Now if 30 feet and the fish is coming at you, we have to drop that fly, which is about 2 seconds gone there, and then we have to go over here and pick this up, pull this away from here, and begin casting. Now that's 5 seconds easy. 5 seconds for that fish at 30 feet, that fish is over. And how many fish that on a daily basis you see that way? I think that's just 60% or even 40%. But even that much, even 10% is too much. Alright, this is what I do. First, I grab this line to the left, which is the line that is going to be leading, going through the rod first. Then I pull my fly into my left hand. Now what is happening here, my hand that I hold the rod with is ready to go. This fly is holding by my 2 fingers here. See that really good? And my line that I'm going to go drop this left hand to go to the right hand to move, it's too long. Everything is set to go. Now that goes and I'm ready to cast. That's the third tip. And by doing this, you have 10 feet of line, leader, 10 feet of a casting line, fly drops, that's in which 10, 10, and 1 falls cast. You got yet another 10 going out. So that's 30 feet right there. In less than 2.5 seconds, 3.5 seconds max. That means your fish, all the fish that you miss, you'll be catching them now. But you're not gonna miss it. You're looking at the fish, right? That's 1, 2, and you're there. That's 30 foot, 40 foot cast on less like 3 seconds, 2 seconds. Step number 4. You know, I always get the question, Ducky, when do I lift my rod tip? because I understand that where everybody fish, the technique is lifting the rod tip. When I fished in different places in Wyoming, and I can't tell you how much time I strip set a trout, but I understand what you go through. Just remember, only lift your rod tip when the fish is pulling the line away from you. That means you strip set the fish, and you definitely feel that the fish is on and he's pulling away from you. So then you can lift your rod tip up, slowly as the rod gets tight. Keep it tight, that from rod tip to the fish, and you hold on to it, and while he runs away, you're good. Okay. Because fishing in Wyoming and different places and watching how people lift the rod tip up, that was my technique that I supposed to know when I get there, and I was strip setting those trout straight out of the water just by one strip. And of course I was breaking them off because that's not the way to do it. I did land a few that way, same as bonefish. You can land a few fish by lifting your rod tip, but 80% of the fish it's going to get off after the end of the day. You lift your rod tip up too quickly, what happens is that the fish are bottom feeders, so they grab to the fly, they press down to the fly. So by lifting your rod tip up for setting, or lifting your rod tip up too early, so once when you lift it up, the fish feels the tension, and what happens, he takes his head up, or he has to take a breath of water to breathe, and by doing that, the fly slips out because there's a slight tension of lifting the rod tip up. If you keep your rod tip low, like I say, and strip the hook, strip the line, fish runs away, line is going out of your hands, you can feel it going out, that's the time to lift your rod tip. Number 5 tip is how to get your cast to go where you want it to go. Now, if you look at most of the times when you're casting to a fish, and the wind, or when you make the cast, it goes away from you. Most people when they cast in and go out. In and out. I call that a no direction cast. What I mean by that is if I take this cast here and go here and go that way, this way, okay? And we got a wind coming from the left hand side and blowing the cast to the right. You can never get where you want to go. Now, if I tell you, I want you to pick this up, and full push and stunning, and I put my hands out, you don't have a clue who I'm talking to. Now, if I point my finger to you, then you know who I'm talking to. Now, when I'm casting, and I point my rod tip down, straight down here, go straighter and come on the inside, then I know exactly where I'm going. I'll go to the other side. If I take my cast, and I go back, and come around here, and straight down, and point the cast where I'm going, that is where my fly is going to end. If I go from this side and go this way, I have no chance on going where I want to go because the wind is going to blow it to the left. Now, all I'm saying is that you come around here, make almost like another circle, it's more like an oval, and come straight down and finish your rod to the water. You go exactly where you need to. Now, I'm gonna do this for the right side. You're gonna go straight here. Right there, and I'm going to come straight down to the water. That's a straight cast. If I take this and come around here, the wind either blow that way, or you kind of go more in a circle. So most of the times when you make a cast to a fish, and you're stripping, and you see the line goes for the fish, but the fly is nowhere close to the fish. You just make a big circle because you have a 10-foot leader, making a big circle to the right or to the left. So you're stripping because your line is in line with the fish, but you're stripping, nothing's really happening. That means your fly is not in line with your fly line. So when I'm casting again, if you make a cast and you go straight down to the water, it doesn't matter if there's a wind is blowing 100 miles per hour or 30 miles per hour. It should go exactly where you tell it to go. If you point to the water and down low and have your hand facing exactly where the fly should go, or towards the fish. hope this tip helps you guys. This will help you before you come to me, or before you go to any guide actually. And these are the tips when you, in your free time or spare time, you can practice these tips. And even if you having a little small difficulty with them, you can always send me a link and I'll be happy to answer you. Be bona fide.